All right, guys. Today we are going to talk about the situation going on in the UK. Before we get started, let me preface this. This is not going to be an easy subject. It's going to be a hard conversation, and you're probably going to feel real bad about the state of the world afterwards. But it is what it is, and we need to look at this because it's coming. If you're in a Western nation, it's coming. We're like two steps behind them. It's already in the works. You cannot deny it. Now, in addition to that, let me say if you're on the left, thank you for coming in. I want you to know 5 years from now, I want you to be happy and healthy. I want you to be changing your hair color again. I want you to be supporting your LGBTQ plus friends or participating in that lifestyle. I want you to be wearing your mask alone in the car by yourself. You know what? Live your life. I want you to be living your life. And if you're on the right, I want you to be raising your family. I want you to be, kissing your grandkids. I want you to be drinking beers while having a barbecue, preferably not Bud Light, right? I want you to be happy and healthy, right? I want everyone 5 years from now to be happy and healthy. And the only way that is going to happen, guys, is at some point we need to put aside our differences and realize we are not at war with each other. We have a lot more in common than we don't. And we need to turn our attention to where the real problem is. The left, you guys don't like the system. What is the system? It's the government. The right, all of a sudden, the right, we're the party of small government, right? I mean, you would think Republicans want strong government for military, but all of our problems are also by the government. So we need to get past hating each other, come together, and realize it is the government we need to be mad at. And the UK here is a perfect example. And I want both sides to take a hard look at this because it doesn't matter who you are, the end result of these sequence of events does not end well for anybody. Nobody's going to walk away. Nobody's going to be happy in 5 years. Okay? So, first, let's look at Samantha's story here. That's Samantha Smith. She's talking to GB News about her experience over the past 10 years with what they know as grooming gangs. Now, let me just stop for a second and ask you if the general population in your area, let's just say your town, if there was groups around that the people knew those are grooming gangs, they're after our children, wouldn't you want someone to do something about that? I would. I think everybody would. So we have to wonder why the politicians in the UK don't think anything needs to be done. So I'm going to let Samantha take it away. I think it's important everybody hears her story. So let's get to it.
Samantha, you were on this show, I think, exactly a week ago.
I was.
And afterwards, you returned to Telford.
Yes, I did. I was on your show last Monday, so same time practically. I came off, there was a fantastic response from the public. I was really, my heart was warmed by the support and outreach that I received from those that either didn't know what had been going on in Telford for decades. Up to 1,000 girls had been reported to have been abused by grooming gangs since the 1980s, or those that had no idea that it could potentially still be going on, and the scale of police, council and social services failings. I went back home, I went back to Telford, and the next day around lunchtime, 2 police officers banged on my door demanding that I speak to them about my interview.
Really? So the police who have done nothing for the entire third millennium to date suddenly were roused to activity by you going on television.
Yeah, they told me that they had gone round to all of the addresses they had on file for me. They had gone to my previous home addresses, the different accommodations that I'd stayed at looking for me, and eventually they located me, you know, they hunted me down, they tracked me, banged on my door, you know, not too different to when they're knocking on the door of a perpetrator, of a potential criminal. I was on FaceTime to my friend at the time, who said to me afterwards, I genuinely thought you were going to get arrested from the way that they were talking to you. They told me that, quote unquote, when you go on GB News and talk about grooming gangs in Telford, it's our duty to follow up with you.
That's not actually true, is it?
No.
So the police are, among other things, lying to you.
It's funny, I said to them at the time, it was funny that they did absolutely nothing to bring my accusers to justice, but when I went on national TV, my abusers to justice, but when I went on national TV and talked about the industrial scale of their failings and their inaction in bringing to justice the perpetrators of vile rape, grooming, sexual assault and child sex crimes in Telford, that they are suddenly spurred into action to come and knock on my door and intimidate me into silence.
It's pretty pathetic, these big butch coppers being so insecure.
Okay, that's enough of that. Hope the beginning of that clip wasn't too bad. I forgot I did not have my headphones on and did not mute my mic, so there might have been some feedback. This is going to be a long enough video. I'm not going to go back and fix that or re-record it. So that's her story. Abused for 10 years, no help whatsoever, and when she talks about it, the cops show up and talk to her, but they haven't arrested anybody on her behalf. Now, you're going to hear this a lot. If you're not in the UK or not paying attention, you know, this will be foreign, but it goes on a lot of places too. They have it ingrained deeply among their society. There is a two-tier justice system, and their two tiers are not rich, poor. Their two tiers are immigrant, quote unquote, because we know darn well our media in the US says immigrant when they really mean illegal immigrant, because they're trying to soften the language. They're trying to get us used to, these people are just going to be here. These people belong to be here as much as you do. They're not displacing you, they're joining you, even though they're not integrating into society. They're doing their own thing, and truth be told, some of them kind of hate you, but they can get away with anything. But if you say anything, well, that's a crime. That's a crime. You need to sit down and shut up and just let them take advantage of you. Okay? That is where the UK's government is right now. So that's two-tier system. Now let's look at how the cops handle when the immigrants are out and roaming. Like, UK has such a pathetic police force. This is just sad. We're gonna watch them tuck their tails between their legs and run. Okay, I'm gonna mute it because it's just some music playing over it, and we'll just see what's going on here. Now, these guys obviously aren't afraid of the cops, are they? I mean, look at it. They're like, swarm the cop car. Let's teach them a lesson. How dare they be here? When do you see cops flee like that? And the other point to note is every time the quote-unquote far right, which is the actual rightful citizenry, the people being displaced, yes, the great replacement theory literally is in action right here while they're telling you, no, that's not happening. There's one cop car, but no, there's a little police presence here maybe. And that's just blocking off a road. But you'll see when it's the right doing something, or the citizenry, well, there's a little bit more of a police presence. So here's, and again, I'm being fair here. There's I'm siding with the citizenry because they did not ask for this. I guarantee you the people in the UK never said, "You know what? We need a buttload of immigrants." Uh, legal immigrants doesn't matter. We need so many immigrants that we don't even feel like this is our country anymore. I promise you, not a single citizen ever wrote their Congress or their whatever, their representatives, and said, "Please, dear God, send us more immigrants." No, that is the government's doing. That was the government's choice. And I guarantee you the people complained and they said, "Shut up, sit down. We're not listening to you, bigoted racist," until finally this is what happens. You have so many of them that the citizenry don't matter anymore. You don't have to cater to them. You don't have to care for them. You don't have to worry about their votes because you brought in people that you're supporting with whatever systems are in place here, and they're always going to vote for you, especially when you let them get away with murder. So this is, to be fair, look at this police presence guarding this place. This is a hotel that is supposedly housing asylum seekers. Now, these are going to be your citizenry, your quote-unquote far-right presence, and I'm not going to say that they're good people for doing this. I think this is a bad thing. I don't think this is how they should go about it, but this was touted as they set fire to the building. They basically, if you read the mainstream news, the official reports are going to tell you they're going to make it sound like they burnt down this building with immigrants in it. They did start a fire, and you're going to see this is a brick building that wasn't going to burn. And right here is where the fire was, and maybe one here too. And it's outside the building. It's basically, at best, they shoved some garbage cans, or for people outside of the state, some bins in there and set them on fire. And you will see that in some of this footage. Again, I'm going to mute this because it's just some background music that's all dramatic and I don't need the drama. So let's take a look here. You can see that fire has already been extinguished, so that probably happened before the president showed up. Whatever was burning over here isn't burning yet. That's still burning, so this is probably the cops just showed up. Yes, broken windows, all that stuff. And yes, if I was an immigrant in this building, yeah, I would be terrified, right? I'm not going to lie and say that every one of the immigrants is wrong, but these people aren't going to see it that way. They're going to see it as, you know what? Every one of them needs to leave because it's too much. I guarantee these people would take immigrant after immigrant after immigrant if they all wanted to be British. If they wanted to assimilate into society, if they wanted to integrate, if they wanted to be productive members, if they wanted to be good people, this would not be happening, right? Or if at very least the government itself said, you know what? Yeah, we do need to actually start cracking down on some of these immigrants and quit saying we're afraid we'll be racist if we do something. No. Right? Eventually, they chase off the police. They damage the building some more. There's some aftermath. Sky News showed a little bit of it. Here's the fire. See, that's outside. It's outside. It's a brick building. Okay, so we'll move on from there. Like I said, be fair. Actually, I'll keep it playing for a second and let me add. Earlier than this, I believe in the timeline, this was, if you've seen the videos of people marching down the street in droves, the immigrants started that, right? They started showing force before anything else. And this little butthole right here didn't say anything about it until the populace reacted. And then it was, oh, this is awful. This has got to stop. I should have looked up his clip. This isn't going to be the most in-depth analysis of the situation because there's a lot to cover, but I want to make people aware, okay? you need to see what's going on, because if you're in a Western nation, we're 2 steps behind this. We are 2 steps behind this. It's going to happen. Our government's doing the exact same thing. In America, we're saying, what is going on with the open border? And the best they can do is, here's a border bill that will allow us to do exactly like we're doing with the open border, but it's legal. And then when it didn't get passed, they blamed the Republicans. They blamed Trump for not supporting it. Yeah, because it's literally what the system wants to do and not the people. We're fine with immigrants. Make them come legally. If you need more people to get that process faster, fine. We're good with good people. We'll take them. Okay, so like I say, I went on a tangent, but the citizenry at some point earlier than this, they also had a earlier riot, and one of the big clips out of that was they were robbing a store, which obviously has nothing to do with immigration unless it was an immigrant-owned store. Then that kind of ties in and makes sense, and I'm inclined to believe that, but I don't have proof of it. But it's just worth thinking about, right? Okay, so let's move on from that, and let's look at what the immigrants are getting away with here, what they're doing, what are the citizenry putting up with. Imagine you're in this car right here. You're just trying to drive to work, and here's all these people blocking the road. This one we will have sound on, and go. Okay, so there they are attacking just a vehicle trying to go through, and then we have another video to follow that up with here. Sorry guys, that started late. Look, it's messed up, but obviously that guy can't fight as well as this one could. So just being fair, and sadly that's probably worth noting is, again, you don't see women, children, or families. It's all military-aged men. All military-aged men. Again, all military-aged men. Don't you think as a society at some point you'd be like, hey, you know what? We keep taking in all these men. Maybe we've got enough. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I've looked up what it takes to move to like another good country, and they don't want you unless you have a skill that they're short of. You better be a doctor, an architect, a plumber, something. You better know how to do something. They don't want you to be cheap labor. They want you to provide a service. Do you think these people are providing a service? I really, really doubt it, other than beating this guy's ass. So you can see there, they even started trying to break the glass to get to the people inside the pub. Like, great lot of people. Great lot of people. All right, now here we have another clip of how the police act around the immigrants. We're just going to mute that music. I don't know what's fair use and what's not, and I'm not going to risk it. But throws on his sirens so that he can flee. Again, if this was the citizens, oh, they'd be in there with dogs and SWAT teams. It's the two-tiered system is so blatantly obvious. It's so blatantly obvious. So what do we have here? We have a police force that will not disobey the government. We have a government that will not obey the people. We have a government and a police force that will not prosecute immigrants. Will not prosecute immigrants. But if you're like a natural born citizen and you put something they didn't like on Facebook, they're coming to arrest you. So watch this.
Okay, so,
What do you mean I can't have any alcohol?
okay, well, I'll tell you. Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network. I'm just
What?
127 of the Communications Act, okay? So you do not have to say that may harm your defence if you don't mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested?
going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
Take you
and-
back to the police station.
Right.
Ask you, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So we need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Have you got anything in your pockets,
I've got my keys. I got. No, that's about it. I think keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 of the Police and Evidence Act.
Right.
And that's for dangerous items.
Hey,
Evidence.
I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what information? But I'm going to be
We've had
arrested for
reports that
posting on
you've made
Facebook.
some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's transferred.
And
they've
can
come
you-
from
can you tell
a
me what
Facebook
this
account
comment
in your
was?
name.
We'll do
Okay,
that
well
in
we'll
an
do that when
interview.
we interview you.
All right. And so,
Okay.
what am I going to be locked up for the night, or
Well,
Hopefully not.
hopefully not.
right? Do I need to
Unless
take
you
my
film
medications
us.
with me?
How,
Yes, we will look at taking all of those.
When do you need to take them?
Well, I've got pain medications. I've got sleeping medication. I've got anxiety medications, which I might take one of those in a bit.
Okay.
You know.
Well, if we take everything with us, then you've got everything there, haven't you?
And then
And
the
if you
Okay.
nurse,
need it-
we've got a nurse up there. They'll be able to.
Okay.
They'll be able to come and see you, and then once you've been there, they can assess whether or not medication can be issued. All right. So what we're going to do is, you want to pop yourself up. We're just going
All
to
right.
search.
You need the glasses
Search you.
to come with you.
My glasses.
Yeah. Do you want
Why?
to take them with you?
Why?
First of all,
Well-
I'm going to seize this, okay, as evidence.
Well,
So it's 10.
What? What? Like, oh my lord. I'd be so heated. I would be so heated. Yeah. Would you think about the stuff you've done online? Do you think they would allow it? No. No. But I bet you they're allowing the other side a lot of crazy stuff. All right, now we're gonna look at this guy. If you watch any clip further, this is actually kind of a good one because I'll give it to this one representing at least the Muslim side of things. He actually talks about unity, though it might be in a twisted sense. I only kind of skipped through what he said, but what I'm interested in what he's going to say right now, right? Remember, these people, this has been going on for a long time. We're talking like 10 years, okay? 10 years the British people have watched their country get taken away from them by a government that will do nothing for them while turning the police force against them and letting the people that are murdering and raping them go free. So let's see what he's talking about here.
I'm so angry, Dawn, because since last week, since Sir Keir Starmer made his statement, he seems to have fanned the flames. It's got worse and worse and worse. And we've seen a shocking tweet yesterday by Jess Phillips, who's sort of suggested it's okay to form vigilante groups and actually police your own area. Let me remind Jess Phillips that she's a Home Office minister. It is the job of the police force to go out and police the streets, not a violent mob of youth. It's a disgraceful statement, and actually, Sir Keir Starmer should sack her straight away. We don't want this sort of divisive dog whistle politics in this country.
That's divisive to say, hey, if the cops won't stand up for you, stand up for yourself. Again, notice everything is you, natural born citizen, person that was brought up and raised here, you do not get to complain. You do not have a voice. You just sit down, shut up, and take it. And I promise you, if the UK people do that, they're gone. They're done. They're done. And we'll get into how this is all going to play out, where this goes from here in my estimation. Because to me, it's clear as day. Now again, here we are. Here's a nice park. We're out for a day at the park. We're just nice gathering, and all of a sudden people are running in fear. So let's see why that is.
They've all got machetes and everything, but they're blocking both sides.
They've got machetes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we need to go. Yeah, we need to go now. But I'm not going without them. So there's going to be a big fucking fight here. Excuse my language. I'll get in the bushes if I have to. They've got knives.
Yeah. Come here. Julia, here.
Where's Aaron? Where's Aaron? Up there! Up there! Up there! Where's Aaron?
No, come on, just move.
Where's Aaron?
Run, just go. Paul, run. Fucking hell. Chris.
So there you have it. People just out at a park trying to have a day, and you're terrorizing them by marching through the streets en masse with machetes and knives. These people, that's your far right there. The people running in fear. Right? Like, they weren't provoked. They weren't pushed to this. Do you think those people want to be putting themselves at risk like this? No. They know times are desperate, that they don't have long left, and they don't. If things don't turn around, again, I said I'll go through it. I'll tell you how I see this going, and I am nihilistic about that. So here's another one. Again, the two-tiered system. Now, there is a follow-up video to this I didn't bother with, allegedly, because I can't prove that it's actually connected, but allegedly, after this video, the cameraman goes and chases down the groups of people that were responsible for this, that the cops did not. So let's take a look at this.
I hope he's not dead. I hope he's not dead. Joe's not dead.
I saw them all run around there. Why didn't you?
Oh, they're allowed go. They're allowed go.
Hey, fucking let it happen! Fucking Satan, they want you to go
And let him go. So a gang of Muslims have just come up and done. I don't know what the fuck they've done to this lad, but he's bleeding out all over the place. And stabbed him. I hope they haven't killed him. I hope they haven't killed him. This is a fucking joke. Oh, there's another.
fucking dickhead! Who's gonna run away and stop?
Now, I let this replay. As somebody pointed out, is this bring your kid to work day? What the heck? Well, uh, what? And again, there's police presence over here. There's police presence over here. There's police presence over here. A man was attacked right here by a group. No one was stopped. No one did anything. Two-tier police system right in your face. It cannot be any more obvious. Like, there is no denying this. There's no excuse for this. This is your government saying, we hate you and we want you gone. Now I got one more video on the two-tier. So this is a woman that, as you're going to see, she went out and tried to be nice to the police while the immigrants were rioting in her area. So as you can imagine, she's the only far-right person out that night. Let's see what that results in.
One of the local residents, Nikki, who I've been talking to, came out. She actually wanted to bring the police some refreshments and found herself being arrested.
My name's Nikki. I was arrested the day after the lady was arrested the day after the riots in Leeds. I went out basically to give the two police I could see from my window some refreshments, basically a couple of ice pops, because I thought from the carnage from the night before, I thought that bus must still be so hot, and they've been standing there for hours.
Let's cast back to what happened after you offered the police the ice lollies.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't accept your gesture.
No, they were quite angry at my presence being there. What are you doing here? I said, what? I've got two ice pops. I said, what, you know, and ice lollies. Just, what are you doing here? And then that started to go home. But then, because this is happening, all the attention then is on me. The focus is on me. So all these, I felt like Kim Kardashian. It was all these cameras are in my face, and the lights on those camera phones are so bright. And they're literally up here in my face. And then all these men started to pull their hoods up and come towards me.
Now, when she says men pulled their hoods up and came towards me, please realize that's the people rioting. So she is frightened right now.
They kept saying, go home, and I thought, I can't go home because they're all going to see where I live. So I couldn't say that out loud. I just kept saying, I'm not going home. I'm going home now. I live there. They're going to watch me go into all these people. And I kept saying, why are they here? Why are they here? Why are you allowing them to be here? Why? Because, like I said, they haven't come for a picnic. So why are they here? I wouldn't say they were angry people. It was just it was when they saw me, all hoods seemed to come up. I thought, what's going to go on here? Why are these people interested in me? And the focus all went on to me then, and I started to get really uncomfortable, thinking, why are they all staring at me? Why are they coming towards me? The policeman said, the man on my right, if you don't go home, we're going to have to arrest you. I said, and you can hear me say, well, you're going to have to arrest me then.
She's there trying to do a good deed towards the police officers, and they say, go home or we'll arrest you, while masses of people are rioting around her. They're not telling them to go home. Do you see, at very least, if it's not the most sinister circumstances, at very least, it really looks like the cops go for the low-hanging fruit, right? And again, if you guys like this, we can get into this more. I'll show you more clips. There's a clip of people running through a park at night, and a guy approaches a cop and says, hey, just so you know, a couple of them have knives over there. And the cop literally says, oh, mate, there ain't nothing I can do about that. He goes, okay, well, I was just letting you know so you could be safe. And then a child breaks a bottle like 15 feet away from these cops. And they turn and sick on that kid in a heartbeat. They can't approach a man with a knife, but they will fuck up a child that broke a bottle. Do you get what's going on here?
So they're starting to grab hold of my arms, and I said, you don't need to manhandle me, but I'm armed with 2 ice lollies. I'm not a threat to you. How can I be a threat to you? There's no need for this. And then I also said many, many times, don't do this. Don't do this because you're giving them what they want. You're giving them what they want. Please don't do this. And then I'm now getting incensed because they're all shouting at me and I'm swearing, which I'm absolutely appalled at my language, because I'm incensed. I'm absolutely incensed by them because I don't know what I've lost control of my own surroundings, and I'm not that.
You see this? This is run-of-the-mill, average, wonderful woman. I bet you she's broke like the most minor crimes. She's maybe jaywalked. She's a threat to no one. But what are they doing? They're driving her to the brink. You're helpless. You're hopeless. No one is on your side. Everything is against you. And you don't think these people are going to eventually stand up and lash out? It's madness. Well, it's not madness. It's planned. It's perfectly planned. It's madness that anybody would ever plan this, but here we are.
That's not good with me. Is I like to, and why are you doing this to me? And I start to shout, why are you arresting me and not them? Why are you arresting me? The area is as impoverished as it is. We're a multicultural community, and we all live in harmony. This has nothing to do with race. Absolutely nothing. It's to do with a bunch of people that committed crimes that I've never seen before. So I've got handcuffs behind my back then. What's this for? They said, and then you can hear me say, oh my God, are you joking? You're going to put me in the back of this wagon? They put me in, and I assumed or thought what they'll do is, because they know they'll take me around the block maybe and get me out and go on, you can go home now. Thought that's what will happen. It didn't tell me where we were going. No, nothing at all. 1 minute I was told I was being arrested for some sort of racial hatred. Also, I've been told that I'm being arrested for my own safety. So which one is this? I'm still not too sure which one it is. He stopped the police wagon and he opened the back and he said, we need to have a chat. And I said, you take these cuffs off me and speak to me like a human being rather than a common criminal, then we can have a chat, because I'm not a threat to you as I'm sitting here like this. And he went, fine, and just slammed the door. And that was it. I was taken to a police cell, and as you can see, I'm a very chatty, very boisterous, vivacious person. And I think I was probably in shock because I didn't speak for 13 hours. I just nodded because I've never been in a police station in my life. And just went in. They said, are you okay? Do you need anything? Didn't speak for 13 hours. I think I was in shock. And the next day, they said they'd phoned my daughter. We've been trying to get through to your daughter. There was one missed call at 1 o'clock in the morning. They didn't try. They took my trousers off me because they had a drawstring. Anyway, so they gave me like sort of prison issue trousers, if you like. I was given a blanket, and I spent the whole night in a cell. They'd come in every so often. Do you want anything? Do you want some water, tea, coffee? Like, no, just couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. I've only ever seen a police station on television. I've never been in a police station before, and it was the most hideous alien experience. It's going to start again.
Do you see? Do you see? She was arrested. Everybody else was fine. Do you think she was the problem? No. But she stood up. She asked a question. She was the wrong person in the area. And look how they humiliated her. The people that are supposed to defend her made her feel weak, helpless, and humiliated. And that is every Western nation right now. You speak up? No. You don't have a voice. The government has officially decided this is not your country anymore. It's theirs. And you, the current citizenry, you are a problem because you expect a certain standard of life. You expect a certain wage. You expect certain freedoms. You expect the government to be there for you. And they don't want to be. They don't want to be there for you. They're bringing in the cheap labor as fast as they can while telling you they're not. It's all good. Don't worry. Our borders are good. Immigration's not out of control. The Great Replacement theory is a conspiracy theory. That's not happening. It literally is. We know it is. It's all around. And it's not racist to say that. If anything, it's nationalist. I don't want people in America that don't want to be American. Canadians should not want people in Canada that don't want to be Canadian. UK should not want people that don't want to be British. North Ireland should not want people that don't want to be Irish. Okay? And the UK, my theory is the UK is the first domino to fall because nobody freaking has guns, right? The people don't have guns. Some of the cops do, but it's rare. So they're super easy to take over, right? And unfortunately, your native population, they're so kind, they're so generous, they're so warm and accepting that they ate this for years. They said, you know what? Maybe I am racist. Maybe I am selfish. Maybe I am wrong for thinking these things. Maybe that is because that's what the government's telling me. And I trust the government still right now. You should not trust the government anymore. We see clearly they are replacing you. They're going to let these people murder you. They're going to let them attack you. In fact, they're going to join them because you're the evil far-right Nazis. That right there, this woman, that woman right there, that face, that is the face of far-right right now. I want you to remember that. That is the face of far-right. It's everyday, ordinary people getting smeared by the government that's trying to destroy them. Now, right now, if you're on the left, you're like, hey, this sounds great. You know, hey, get rid of the evil white people and we're going to take the system over. No, you don't. You are so wrong. You are so wrong. For a party about identity politics, I promise you, when this is all said and done, the only identity anyone's going to have, you, center, right, doesn't matter. There will be no politics anymore other than to worship the state. Okay? Understand that. Your identity will be property of the state. And a lot of all of us won't make it. Because if I'm working, and believe me, this is a concerted effort because it's every Western nation. All of our governments at the same time didn't go, you know what we need is to flood our country with migrants. No, this is coordinated. So if you're having this problem in your country, your government has already turned on you. You're not going to vote your way out of it. You're not going to negotiate. You're not going to reason. You're not going to logic your way out of it. And in this particular situation, some of you may be in the know. Elon Musk responded to a tweet of one of the clashes, and he said civil war is inevitable. And he probably, hey, I get that at a glance. That's what it seems like. But I could tell you right now, that is probably the worst thing that the UK can do. The UK might still be able to be saved, but if they go to civil war, if the native-born population just starts attacking immigrants left and right, it'll immediately escalate. It will go into martial law, it will go into lockdown, and every arm of every system available will demonize them till everyone on the planet justifies destroying them. And once that's done, guess what the only threat to the state left is? The people that did the destroying. You'll be taken out too. Trust me. You can look through communist takeovers throughout history. You know, there's a great expression: those who know their history, or those who don't know their history, are doomed to repeat it. But there's a variation of that as well that says those who do know their history are doomed to repeat it because of those that don't. Like, they've laid their cards on the table. They want to destroy you, the citizen that was here 30 years ago. And they want to replace you with people with lower living standards, lower wage expectations, lower everything. And those people are going to love the government because they're getting provided for from our tax dollars. We're paying for our own destruction. And we're freaking cowering and saying, yes, sir, please, sir, give me some more, all the while. Now, like I say, once they destroy the migrant group, right? If you got a medical condition, well, you're not going to be a good slave because I'm not going to do crap for you, right? If you're weak, frail, old, disabled, you're dead. You have no purpose at all. Not in a one, and believe me, this is all for one world government. Again, this is coordinated. It's in your face. In your face, undeniable. They are pushing to destroy the West. And the only reason you do that is one world government, right? World Economic Forum, or whoever you want to blame, whoever it is pulling the strings, the goal is obvious. And the goal of a one world government is not to raise the poor Africans' lifestyle up to that of the West. No. It's to drag everybody down to the lowest common denominator. I promise you, in a one world government, you'll be crapping in a hole. You will not have running water anymore. You will not have electricity. You'll never see a pretty place again because that will be reserved for the oligarchs, right? You will work sunrise to sunset 7 days a week until you die because you're nothing to the people that think they are in control. The people that are doing this, they despise you. They hate you. There are too many of us, and they want us gone. And they know at least half of us they don't need. If you're a free thinker, you're gone. You know, if you listen to the Jewish people after the Holocaust, the people that survived that, they will tell you, if you did not have a skill, you died. You better be a leather worker, you better be a metal worker, you better be a pharmacist or a surgeon or something. How many of you fit that qualification? If you're just working retail, if you're working fast food, if you're a janitor, if you're a theater attendant of some sort, if you're a cashier, if you're stock shelves or work at a hardware store, they don't need you. And if they do decide to keep you around, you're going to wish they killed you, right? Like, do you guys see? It's in our face. Whoever it is, there is evil coming down upon us, and we can't just sit back and accept it anymore. So help us spread this message. Let's get it out there. If you guys want me to go into this subject further, I will happily do so. I'll be very honest with you guys. This is not an easy one to do in one take with no editing, because I'm telling you guys, this is what I see. All roads point to this conclusion in my mind, and it terrifies me for all of us, that we might be at each other's throats as the world crumbles around us. And we leave something that we would never want our children to live through. A freaking hell on earth. Like, just it's mind-boggling that people don't see it. But the UK, if they are going to fix this, the only thing I can think of, and I'll probably have some police finding me for saying this, they have to take their government back. Get the politicians out of there. I don't care if you have to intimidate them. I don't have to storm Parliament or whatever building, take control, and never let them back in. Keep citizens on that building, overtake the positions, wrestle your country back. Because no matter what, let's say they do go to civil war, and let's say the general population, the rightful citizenry win, you still have to deal with your government. And they're going to use their military and police force against you. We've already seen it. They've already made it quite clear. So instead of fighting 2 or 3 battles, fight 1. That's all I can say. Again, if you want me to talk about this more, or if you have another subject that you would like me to look at, let me know down in the comment section, and I will do the best I can. As always, thank you for sitting with me. I know this is a little deep for some of you people. I know it's going to seem conspiratorial, but I do believe the evidence is right there. And the only reason I would see not to believe this is you still have faith in your government, which no one should ever have faith in their government. Everybody, everywhere, should treat their government like a spouse that they think that's cheating. I want to see your text messages. I want to see your emails. As invasive as that is, I don't trust you, so you need to show me the receipts. And they won't do that. They straight tell you no. Because they're not working for us. They're not governing our country. They're working for themselves, and they're giving away what they believe to be their country. And in the meanwhile, you're lucky to be here. So, again, like I say, not an easy topic, but I appreciate you sticking with me. And again, let me know in the comments if you want me to do something on some topic, or if you want to see more of this, because I'm sure I'm going to be on this for a while, because I can't think of one more important event in the world. And I guess before we leave, let me ask you this. Let me know down in the comments if you watch MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, any of those, any mainstream media. Have you even heard of this? Have you heard that this is going on? Because this is only popping off in like the last week. This should be headline news on every station, because you know what sells? Sensationalism, a good story. And this is this is very sensational and it's a good story, but they're not running it because they don't want you to see what's going on there and go, holy shit, I think that's the first domino dropping. And it looks like Northern Ireland might be the second. And now I'm starting to wonder what the third, fourth, fifth, sixth are, because holy crap, this is coordinated across everywhere. And I can see we're 2 steps behind this and we're walking right towards it and no one is listening, which means it's intentional. It's intentional. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Again, thank you for listening.